Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
Welcome to another episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my spectacular co-host. We've got the one and only Sublime Manic.
Hello.
And we have my favorite carrying apparatus, Basket.
What's up, PUCL peeps?
And we're here today to bring you another episode of the fantastic PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007. We talk everything from the video game to the trading card game to everything in between. And boy, is there a lot in between. So this is where I guess I ask you guys what you've been up to, because it's been a hot minute since I've talked to both of you. So anything new? Anything going on with your lives?
The Snowmageddon, I guess. I've been stuck at home since Wednesday. I've been stuck at home since Wednesday. Yeah, school got everything got canceled the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Maybe over there in the good old Midwest, it's not a big deal, but in the West here, we're having a huge
in the West. No,
it definitely feels like a role reversal. Because like I like flew back. I was in Texas this week for work, and then I flew back.
Yeah. First of all, I'm sorry that you had to go there, but I'm glad
it was okay.
Got to see Claude.
I did get to see Claude. Which was nice. Claude and I went to lunch and we talked about like some streaming ideas and stuff like that. And we just hung out generally.
Oh, cool.
He bought me an ice cream sandwich.
Nice.
I told him he didn't have to because I was technically on per diem.
Classy move.
So we went ahead and we hung out for a little bit. That was a lot of fun getting to see him.
I saw pictures from the Riverwalk. That's fun.
Yeah, I realized I had not seen Claude in like 4 years in person.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of insane to think about because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I hadn't seen him since I think 2019. I think 2019 was the last time we saw each other.
Yeah, I think most of us haven't seen each other since then. So
yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
We should correct that.
No, we should. We absolutely should. Claude and I talked about that for a little bit, actually, about how we do that properly, right? To make sure that everybody is like, make sure that it's done right. Because like I don't want it to be like too big, because my worry is like if we said, hey, we're going to NAIC again, like 50, 60 people show up.
No, I think the plan is to do a staff retreat.
That is the plan where...
Yeah.
Claude said he'd help me figure that out, the logistics, because like I really want to do it in like a bigger city. And
yeah,
that way it's a very easy flight for people, right? Like the idea is that the idea is that you're just going from hub to hub instead of going to like... Hub
to random place.
Yeah, to like regional flight. To the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and we'd be making some fun content too.
Yeah. Claude had some ideas, so I'm gonna talk with him about it and we're gonna figure it out, and then we'll budget it out and see how it works out. So I probably won't be. I don't know if it'll be this year, but maybe next year for sure.
I'll probably see. Well, this is random, but I might see Whimsicott this year because we are going to Europe this summer. Yeah.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Oh, wow.
That's very exciting. She would really appreciate that, actually.
I bet, yeah. I'm excited.
You could probably land anywhere over there and drive to her in like 3 hours.
Exactly.
I don't think that's how Europe works, but
I mean,
not exactly. But it does have a much,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it does have like a better transportation system. That's for sure.
Completely. Also, I'm from Texas, so like everything is small to me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your entire country can be traveled in an hour? Oh, okay, sure.
I think that's still an exaggeration, but that's okay.
It's not. You know, it took me 8 hours when I lived in Texas to go from where I lived to my parents' hometown in the same state.
No, Texas is very spread out and very large. Yes. I do agree with you. Because like I can go to Texas 3 different times and be at least in Ohio away from anything else that I was previously been in.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot to think about.
One whole Ohio.
Yeah, one whole Ohio away, right? I could just be a whole Ohio away. Yeah, so it's just like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
So it's like France to Italy can't be that far, can it? No, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, if there's not, the thing, like the difference is, like, I will take a 4-hour train ride over a 4-hour car ride any day.
Oh, I love trains,
right?
Yeah.
I will take a 4-hour train ride anywhere over, because then I don't have to drive. And if I can just like relax, I don't care. You can take as long as you want to take to get me somewhere. Because trains at least are like spacious typically, even if you're in coach.
And you have a nice window, see the landscape. Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
no, I've actually been thinking about taking just like a straight up vacation on like an Amtrak in the US to like from like Chicago to Seattle or something like that, just for funsies.
I think that would be funsies.
Yeah, I've seen some of the views and they're like really pretty.
Oh my God. We could make a battle train.
Oh no. I'm not saying that we should all go on vacation. I was thinking my wife and I would go on vacation, but
it's too late now. You're being crashed. You guys walk on board, all of a sudden. You guys, no, we wanted to go on vacation by ourselves.
It's the staff retreat that we never asked for. We all just
yeah, we all dressed up as Team Rocket and ruin your entire party.
It's just the staff retreat. We're just all on a train for 3 days. That's fine. God. Yeah, I've been looking into it though. Like, I think that'd be a fun vacation because like you get to go see the mountains. Like the one that's supposed to be really good is the one that goes from Chicago to LA or San Francisco. One of the two. There's a really good train that does that, and you get to actually like go through the Rockies, and it's really cool. So I was thinking about doing that one too. I don't know. We're figuring it out. I think it would just be a fun, cute little vacation to take. And it slows life down. You have no cell phone reception, so your life is, you're like forced to shut off, which is kind of what I'm looking forward to if we do it. I don't know. If anybody else has taken the Amtrak before, let me know. I hear it's both a good and bad experience.
Yeah, I will tell you my wife's experience.
Well, it's probably one of the two.
For me, I just beat Pokemon Scarlet. Yes, round of applause, everyone.
Oh, yes.
I'm not late at all.
Good for you.
Little snaps.
Yep, good job. I'm proud of you.
You chose the right version. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm not biased at all.
No, I think honestly they came up with the concept and they had Pokemon Scarlet in mind with the concept. And then they're just like, well, how can we make a second version? And then Violet was like the afterthought.
Well, no, I love Violet because purple's my favorite color. So
I still think it's the afterthought. I think they were just like, yeah, that's why every single Paradox Pokemon is named Iron something.
I feel like everyone says that literally just because of Iron. Like, that's the only thing people say.
That's not the only thing, but I feel like the concept, like, it's more confusing to consider these Pokemon Paradox Pokemon from the future because we don't have, like, evidence against why it doesn't make any sense for them to be from the future, right? Because we don't know what the future's like. But with the past, it's very easy to tell that they're Paradox Pokemon because all of the descriptions are, like, these shouldn't exist by any means, right? Like, in the magazines you read and stuff like that.
See, for me, I feel like the villain made more sense wanting to go to the future instead of the past. It's like, oh great, yeah, my goal is to go somewhere without cell phone reception. And I was like, oh, she's crazy. At least like the male professor who wants to go somewhere where there's technology.
I don't know. I think it's still cool to like want to go to the past to like investigate it, right? But I do think that it's just easier to tell that the Pokemon are Paradox Pokemon. Just because, like, Slitherwing's description in the Culture magazines says that fossils of Volcarona don't exist from that time. So we don't really know how there's a Volcarona like that. And then, like, you know, you have, like, the billion-year-old Jigglypuff that makes no sense because multicellular life didn't exist a billion years ago. And there's a bunch of them like that.
So how does this make more sense? I'm Team Violet, but it's all good.
I'm not saying Violet. There's anything wrong with Violet.
Purple's a great color.
I'm excited now that I've beaten the game though.
Mm-hmm.
To do what our topic's about. The whole
the raids.
Yeah.
I could tell based on our discussions before we did the show. So I could tell, and this is something that we haven't talked about a lot. I've just like hinted at and alluded to the fact that I really liked it. So I'm very excited to talk about raids. So I guess without further ado, we have some things to talk about though.
Yes, before the raids.
Yeah, before the raids. So let's jump over to the news. So let's cue that epic music.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. We've got a few things to talk about. There's probably a lot of news going on this week as you're listening to this show, and we're not talking about it because of time and how it works, and the fact that we record the show before Mondays when the show releases. So there's probably a lot of cool news that came out on Monday, seeing as it is Pokemon Day. We'll talk about it, though, this next episode, so we probably will talk to you about it then. In the lead up to the new anime, though, by the way, we've been introduced to the new characters Freed and Captain Pikachu. The person that wrote the news goes, there is no escape. They've also added more episodes than Netflix in the US. Looks like they stopped it right at the Iris versus Cynthia matches, so there's still another round of episodes to come before we get that final fight with Ash and Leon. And we got the final names of the aim to be the Pokemon Master, the last 11 episodes of the anime. I'm sure there are some number of shippers disappointed that it's Latios that's the focal point of the penultimate episode over Latios. We'll see. But yeah, it's
don't need to go there.
Dude, those episodes, those last episodes are pretty hype. I've been like keeping up with it. These last 11 episodes are just really cool. I really like them. They have Ash rotate his team every episode, so you get to see I think you get to see every single one of his old Pokemon at one point or the other. So that's really cool. And then on top of that, you get to see, like, I think Team Rocket in the next episode is going to see all of their old Pokemon again.
Oh, that makes me happy.
I think the only thing that isn't confirmed in the pre-release screenshots we've seen is Arbok and Weezing, which is the most upsetting. I'm hoping that they're just like not showing them in the promo images so that we're all like shocked and stunned when we get to see Arbok and Weezing. It also hints that like maybe they leave Team Rocket, and there's like this cool picture. I was trying to find it for you, Sublime, because I feel like you would get it and you would love it. It's a picture of them with all of their Pokemon with the exception of like Arbok and Weezing, and Marini and Mimikyu, I believe, don't show up either. But then there's another shot of them just like wearing sweaters and hanging out, recording a podcast. And it sounds like they quit and they just become podcasters. And I'm like, I'm here for this.
I hope they find happiness because they deserve it.
I'm here for it. I'm really here for it. All right, Basket, take us away on the next one.
Yeah, so there was an announcement of a new animated short for Shanghai. It
hasn't been confirmed for us yet.
It hasn't been confirmed yet for the West, but it's probably going to either air or will be announced during Pokemon Day. So keep an eye out for that, or an ear.
The artwork for it's actually pretty cool. It's pretty much like all the pre-Nintendo Switch Pokemon stuff. And the kid's like holding a Game Boy playing it, and like the DS and everything's laying on the table in front of him with all the old Pokemon games. I'm hoping it's boding well for us to get some Virtual Console Pokemon. Well, it's not Virtual Console anymore. It's Nintendo Switch Online Pokemon in the near future. Because I really, if they did, honestly, if I don't pay for like the Nintendo Switch Online Plus nonsense yet, because I don't care enough about playing N64 games on the Switch. But if they dropped Pokemon like Red, Blue, Yellow, and even Gold, Silver, Crystal, and so you could hook them they connect to the Pokemon Stadium games that they announced, I would that minute become a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber. Because that would be amazing.
Then you could actually have Pokemon with moves that make sense in there. Well,
you wouldn't be able to have Pokemon that make sense with move. Well, my adult brain would be able to decide, right? Not my kid brain, because
right,
like you're still locked to Gen 1 and Gen 2, but at least you can like play them with Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2, because like Pokemon Stadium 1 and Pokemon Stadium 2 are by far like the best post game content we've ever gotten in Pokemon. It really bums me out that we don't get things like those anymore. Because like you want to complain about not like this was the Battle Frontier before the Battle Frontier. All right, next piece of news for Scarlet and Violet. Take it away, Sublime.
Hey, speaking of raids, the new raid, the 7-star raid, is a Pika Blue, which is to say a water Terra-type Pikachu. And if you're listening to this before the Pokemon Day presentation, you still have a chance. It's still up. So
it was also really hard. I heard they like changed a lot. Like
7-star raids are annoying. Like,
well, they get so instead of normal 7-star raids where it's like 30 times the HP, they gave this one 50 times the HP.
Well, because it's Pikachu, you know, gotta boost it up because it's such a low value.
To be fair, I kind of agree with you. This was just to do Surfing Pikachu, though. Like, I think that was the idea. This was Surfing Pikachu. We already got Flying Pikachu, and I think that was just something to bring up. They did finally announce this week that NAIC, the North American International Championships, are going to have been confirmed. They moved dates because they realized they bumped into some other big I think it was Origins Game Fair in Columbus. But it's been confirmed for June 30th to July 2nd in Columbus. Unfortunately, that's the one weekend I can't make it, so I'm not going.
Bummer.
Yeah, I'll be in Santa Barbara, California.
Better. So, I'd rather be in Santa Barbara than Columbus, too.
Maybe, yeah.
Sunny.
Yeah, so I will be missing it, unfortunately. Yeah. But it is what it is. If you want to go, you guys have a good time. I might go on like the Saturday because I come back like the Friday, so I wouldn't be able to compete.
Yeah.
I might go the Saturday.
You can
just
go get a day pass.
Yeah, I might just go hang out.
The shops.
But yeah. All right, Pokemon Unite. This is you, Basket.
Oh, yeah. We got Zacian coming.
Zacian's coming. I think that's it. I know nothing about Zacian in the game. I wonder if it like gets like an evolution to its crown form or not. I don't know. But we'll find out. I'm upset that they did just Zacian and they didn't do also.
I think it's gonna be really funny when you have a Zacian lose to like Charmander.
When it dies to Charmander at level 1.
Like if you lose to like some nothing Pokemon comparatively just because it's not the same system, it's really amusing.
I feel that would be cathartic. That would just be cathartic.
You're like, oh, Steamy defeated Zacian. I'm like, that cracks me up.
I guess we don't know anything. It'll probably be announced because this is a leak. It'll probably be announced though on Monday. All right, let's see what else we got. Pokemon Go Sublime.
Yeah, speaking of Pokemon Go, we weren't speaking of it, but that's what you call a transition, right? We've got Reggie Draco and Reggie Alecki being teased for Go Fest. So if you're still playing Pokemon Go, go get those Reggies. Oh, it's because they're doing a Hoenn thing right now too, right?
Yeah, the Hoenn tour. The Hoenn tour is like right now as we're talking.
Right, that's when the Reggies were introduced, so it makes sense that they would add the new Reggies. You know.
Yeah.
Keep it modern.
I think their non-inclusion in Pokemon Legends was probably my least favorite thing about Legends.
I would like to make a separate Pokemon Go announcement.
What is it?
Kind of thing. If you guys are rural players or you're lazy players like me, there are online petitions to get them Niantic to pull back the limitation on how many remote raids you can have, as well as the fact that they're decreasing sometimes to 0 the amount of XL candies you can have when you do a remote raid.
The
primal energy for raids is sometimes coming up as 0 on remote raids. So if you're a rural player or a lazy player, look online and sign something.
Yeah. All right. TCG, I'm going to give this one to you too, Sublime.
Sure. The next League Battle deck is going to be Palkia V-Star. It has a 3/2 Palkia line and a Radiant Greninja. So that is a great get.
Yeah, I think the Radiant Greninja is more impressive than the Palkia at this point. I'm going to be honest.
Well, that's why it's a great get.
I think Radiant Greninja is probably like $5 still. And then I think Palkia has gone down pretty significantly because, I mean, it pretty much died off after the past year. Better decks came out.
I can't remember. Did Rotation get it? Did Rotation screw it over?
Rotation's gonna hurt it a little bit. Well, probably actually a lot of it. It depends on which Palkia variant you're playing. If you're playing it with an Inteleon engine, Inteleon's gone, right? Like Shady Dealings doesn't exist. And then you also lose Scoop Up Net, which I guess doesn't matter because you can't play the Inteleons that were using the Scoop Up Net. And then you also lose Capacious Bucket, which was free water energy in your hand. So
that's gone already. I feel like that just came out.
Capacious Bucket came out. I think that's Base Sword Shield.
Oh yeah, that's been a minute.
Okay.
That's going to rotate. Rotation still hasn't
We're
happened
about to
yet.
have base Scarlet Violet, so there you go.
Base Scarlet Violet comes out in a month, which is actually really exciting. I'm very excited for that. I'm going to definitely buy at least one booster box, if not two, just because they're going to be so fun to open because they've gone to like the 3 holo model like other TCGs. And,
yeah.
And so you're going to, like, every pack is going to feel impressive. So I'm very excited about that. But I don't even know if Palkia is like worth it at this point. I think the deck that's doing really well right now is actually Lost Zone again. Yeah, Palkia went down to $1 a card. I remember paying $10 for Palkias.
Well, Water needed a win, so I'm glad that deck was good when it was.
Yeah, $5 for a Palkia.
Been a long time.
But yeah, it's just like it's an okay card. The Radiant Greninja is what that Veed Battle deck's all about, I think. I think Giratina's doing well post rotation and a few other things. So yeah. Okay, so Puckle's Poke prediction. Will we be satisfied with the Pokemon announcements this week? That's a good question. That's a terrible question, but it's a good question. I think as long as they announce DLC, I'll be fine. Right? Because my full expectation is that we'll get DLC, we'll get one thing that I'll be excited about, and then another thing that I won't be excited about, but somebody else will be. Like those are my full expectations. And then a bunch of like things that I'm neutral on. All right, like because I expect DLC. I expect something like Game Boy games are coming to Virtual Console, even if it's just Gen 1. And then I expect there to be like, and then Pokemon Cafe is getting an update, and somebody gets really excited.
Meanwhile, where is Pokemon Sleep? Where is Pokemon Sleep? What happened?
Do you actually care about Pokemon Sleep though? Like
no, but it's the joke of.
I can't tell like with my IRL Pokemon friends. Hi Ryan.
Yeah.
I can't tell with them if they genuinely want Pokemon Sleep or if they're memeing, because I'm sitting over here like I just couldn't care less about Pokemon Sleep.
I know. Yeah.
It doesn't need to exist, right? What about you?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh man, it's been so long. There is this press conference that I'm pretty sure was just a collective fever dream of all Pokemon fans, Basket, back in 2019.
Okay.
It happened in May of 2019, and pretty much everything they announced in that press release did not happen or has not happened. Like Detective Pikachu 2, they announced was going to come out as a game, and it's been 4 years, Basket. It's still not here. And Pokemon Sleep was announced, which I don't really know what it is, but it's supposed to be somehow Pokemon Go with Pokemon Sleep. And it was going to come out with I kid you not, they called it the Pokemon Plus Plus.
Oh, wow.
Which I don't understand. It's fine.
They couldn't. Okay. Yeah. Right. That.
I don't understand. The thing that did come out from that press release was the toothbrushing game for children. That did come out. It came out the same day as the press conference, so it does exist. I think it got it to Gen 2 Pokemon.
Wonderful.
I think it still gets updates. So I guess look at that if you're looking for something. But yeah. Oh
gosh.
All right. Well, that's our news. We're going to kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz. Thank you for that introduction. We've got a few questions here. Our first one this week for you guys, if you're ready, is going to come to you from NZ Nick. What generation did the move Waterfall debut in?
Ooh.
That's easy, isn't that?
I want to say 2, right?
Oh, 2?
Second gen? Was it? Okay, because like... Oh, sheesh. Aren't there waterfalls in Gold and Silver? No, there were 3 water moves. One of them is Whirlpool. One of them is Surf. Dive is Gen 3, so I want to say Waterfall is Gen 2.
I mean, okay, we can go with that because
I'm like, oh gosh, what am I wrong though?
Because I remember like Gen 3 had like so many
too much water. That's true.
TMs. So do you remember like at what point you used Waterfall in Gen 2? Like, can you remember?
I'm trying to remember. Or wait a minute, was Waterfall always? I don't know. Could it be Gen 1? No, right? Gen 2?
No. I know it's not Gen for sure, right?
I don't know. I don't know. Waterfall has just been around for so long that I don't like. It's just kind of osmosis its way into when it started. I'm not confident about it. I just don't remember a time where there wasn't Waterfall. You know?
Maybe it was like. Oh, sorry, guys, that was my alarm.
Wake up alarm. Yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna need an answer here, guys.
I feel like it has to be Gen 2.
Let's say Gen 2.
Okay.
Gen 2 is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is Generation 1. It did become an HM in Generation 2. In Gen 1, though, it was the signature move of the Goldeen line. It was.
Oh wow! So that's why I didn't know because I.
So I was right about it being an HM though. I'm gonna take that as a personal win, even if it's not a point.
You should. Yeah, no. Goldeen learns it at level 37, and Seeking learns it at level 39.
Who uses Goldeen? Who uses Goldeen?
Somebody.
Find me one person that has used a Goldeen.
I have no idea who used Goldeen.
If you ever have used a Goldeen in your playthroughs, email the show. I want to know.
We need to know. It's not a want.
I need to know. Has anyone? I feel like this is like no one knows if that's true because no one used it.
All right. Well, you're 0 for 1. Our next question is going to come from Liger, the trivia master himself. Which champion has the highest level Pokemon the first time the Pokemon League is challenged?
See, now I want to say Cynthia because we all know. If you know, you know. You know? But I can see it also being Lance. So I don't know. Oh, wait. Does this count as a champion when you fight Red at the end of Gen 2?
No. It's the first time the Pokemon League is the first time the Pokemon League is challenged in that game. This champion has the highest level Pokemon in that circumstance.
Okay, so let's see. I feel like X and Y had a pretty high level cap in the league. Would like the league champion count?
Yeah, no, it is the league champion. That's what I'm asking. Champion. That's what I'm asking.
We're asking who is the champion with the highest level Pokemon.
Oh, who's the champion? Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When you first battle them. And I'm like, gosh, was there a game that just had like higher levels by the end of it than any other?
Who was?
I just remember Cynthia's like the iconic, like actually difficult one because they all have 31 in all their IVs and all that.
Who was the actress lady in
Diantha, one of my favorite champions.
Okay, I think she's
the
correct.
Meryl Streep of Pokemon. Okay.
Awesome. That's hilarious.
So are you going Diantha? Is that what your answer is?
Sure. I think it's Cynthia, but maybe it is Diantha.
Diantha?
I don't know.
Okay,
I guess the last one, so I'll go with you on this one, Basket.
You want to say it at the same time? 1,
what?
Sure.
2,
I know.
3.
Meryl Streep. Right.
Diantha.
Yeah, Diantha.
Diantha is correct. She has a level 68 Mega Gardevoir, which is the highest level a Pokemon is on the initial run through of the Pokemon League in any game. Alder does have a level 70 Pokemon the first time you battle him, but it's not the first time you challenge the Pokemon League, so it doesn't count.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, yeah, because you had to deal with that whole situation.
Mm-hmm. All right, this next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. If you get it first, you get 2 points. If you get it after the first entry, you get 1 point. So you can get 2 points here. This one is going to come to you from Poliwo. Its Pokemon Scarlet Pokedex entry reads, these Pokemon gather into groups and form colonies deep within forests. They absolutely hate it when strangers approach. Who's that Pokemon?
They hate people. They love forests. They love colonies. Is it the Pilgrims?
We forgot the line about Thanksgiving, right? So
It's the Settlers. Okay, so it's a forest Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, or as I like to shorthand call it, Scurvy. Pokemon Scurvy. Scarlet and Violet, yeah. I'll try to make that catch on, so now you know.
I don't think it will, but you keep trying.
I am going to keep trying. Scurvy.
Stop trying to make
Pokemon
fetch
Scurvy.
a thing.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to make Scurvy a thing.
Oh, man.
Colonies. What are the Pokemon in the forested areas in Scurvy? Could it be Nocrafii? That wouldn't say that. Could you repeat it?
These Pokemon gather into groups and form colonies deep within forest. They absolutely hate it when strangers approach.
Are there any forest Pokemon that run after you or anything like that?
Or that run away from you that hate when people approach? I feel like it might be Applin, because damn was that hard to find in the forest.
We can do that, because honestly, I have absolutely no idea.
I have no idea either, and I know that they exist in the forest.
So is Applin your answer?
I guess?
Applin is unfortunately incorrect. Your second entry is going to come from Pokemon Violet, and it reads, it coils its 10 tentacles around its prey and sucks out their nutrients, causing the prey pain. The folds along the rim of its heads are a popular delicacy.
Oh my gosh, it's Totoscruel or whatever.
Is it Toadscruel or Toadscool?
I mean, I'll take either. I'll take the family.
Then the Toadscruel line.
Toadscruel is correct. It's 10 tentacles, so it has to be Toadscruel, not
That makes sense, right? Because the other one has just the 2. That was a dumb question.
But it is Toadscruel, yeah. All right. Well, you guys are 2 for 3. Your next question's worth up to 3 points. It's got, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 answers. Or actually, you know what? This one has 13 answers. And I only need you to give me 4, and I'll give you 2 points. Or if you give me 6, I will give you 3 points. Okay. There are 13 possible answers. This one's from Trev. There are 13 moves with at least one dash in their names, excluding Z moves / Dynamax moves. What are they?
Interesting. I want to say extreme speed, but
you
maybe
do have 2 strikes. You do have 2 strikes or 3 strikes, and then you're out.
Let's not say that, because I think extreme speed just combines the 2 words without a space, which is also weird, but not a dash.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, moves with dash in them.
No. With a dash. With a
dash. No.
With a dash in it.
With a dash in it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think self-destruct.
Are you locking it in?
I want to say self-destruct because, yes.
Self-destruct.
I used something with it pretty recently.
Self-destruct is correct. That is 1.
Lovely. Okay.
Every 2 you get a point. Every 2 you get a point. Some of these are surprisingly common, and I'm not sure. I'm surprised you're not getting some of them.
Well, it's hard to think what you think of moves. You don't think of how you.
That's true. That's true.
I'm sure we know more than
you do have the hint.
To our mind instantly.
You do have the hint, but I don't know how I would hint this. But we'll figure it out.
Double edge. Double edge is 1. I know double edge for sure.
Soft boiled.
Soft boiled's correct. Double edge. Let me double check. I don't think double edge actually.
Whenever I have to type it.
Double edge does have it. It's not in this list that I have for some reason, but it does have it. So I will accept both of those.
And
that's 3. That's 3.
Lock on.
Lock on is Lock on is 4. Lock on is 4.
I just got a Registeel in Pokemon Go.
That is 4. You guys are at 2 points.
One of Viger's iconic moves.
If you get 2 more, you get the full 3. Yeah, double edge didn't make this list.
That just goes to show how many dashes there are.
There's a lot of dashes. That's 14 instead of 13.
And we can't use.
You can't use the hint.
No, I was going to say we can't use the Z moves or the...
No, you can't use the Z moves or the Gigantamax moves, because I think every single one of those is just G-Max or...
Well, that'd be perfect. perfect, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe we should use the hint for this one. What are you thinking, Basket?
Oh,
You got any,
baby doll eyes. Baby doll eyes.
Baby doll
Yes.
eyes is a fifth one. Yeah, you only need one more.
V-Create.
V-Create is another one. Yeah.
Oh my
You
god.
guys got
weird move
6.
names.
You got 6, so
Hell
you're
yeah.
missing
We'll take it.
you're missing 8. The 8 you didn't get multi-attack, power-up punch,
That makes sense.
Uh,
That makes
Power
sense.
punch.
topsy-turvy, trick or
That
treat.
surprises me.
Um,
Yes.
The one-
that has 2 dashes, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. The other one that
Would that have counted
'Cause of the
twice?
R.
no, the one that I'm surprised that you didn't think of, U-turn,
Oh yeah,
Iconic.
that would have
That's
been simple.
Yeah.
wake up slap, and then the other 2 are kind of
Okay.
common as well. Will-o-wisp,
That,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
and
Another double.
Excisor.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think we would have eventually gotten Will-O-Wisp.
I think
and,
Will-o-wisp you would have
I
thought
don't
of
know about Trick or
eventually.
Treat, but
yeah. Will-o-wisp I think you would have gotten. All right, so that gives you guys your 3. So you guys are at now, it looks like 5. 5? Yeah. All right,
Nice.
so
nice.
this is your base stat question as always. This is going to come to you from Snackard. What non-fully evolved psychic type has the highest base defense?
Oh,
Non-
I'm almost sure that
not-
it's that middle stage of the of Cosmo M, right? Like that thing had stupid high defenses, right?
Wait, I'm sorry. You said non-fully evolved.
Yeah, non-fully
Non-
evolved. I'm almost sure it has to be Cosmo M. The before you
What-
get Solgaleo and Lunala, because after
Wait,
it evolves from Cosmog, it's just a wall. Like that's all it is.
Did we say that legendaries were okay?
Yeah, it's
I
any
mean,
psychic type.
it's
Any
not fully
psychic type
evolved.
Pokemon.
Okay. I was just trying to
I'm
make sure we got all the
almost certain it's
qualifiers.
got to be Cosmo M. That thing is like nothing but defense
Okay.
and special defense and like nothing else.
Okay, let's go with that.
Cosmo M is correct with a base
Yeah,
131 defense. Then
Wow.
next up is going to be Matang with 100, and then Bronzong with 86. Or Bronzor with 86.
Bronzor, but
Bronzor
yeah.
with 86. Yep. All right. You guys got 6 points today. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add it up in the trivia score sheet. Good news for you guys. It
Awesome.
just restarted. So wait.
Oh.
I don't think anybody's doubled up on shows yet, so we got this going really well
Sweet.
for you. So let me go ahead. We're going to sort it.
So we're on the board and no one else is.
You're on the board. So in first place, we've got a 3-way tie between Mark Whimsicott and Cloud9 with 8 points apiece. In fourth place, we've got a tie between Seth Bilo and Shark Finnegan with 7 points apiece. In sixth place, we've got a 4-way tie between Linny and Jushiro, Sublime and Basket at 6 points apiece. Everybody else has yet to get on the board. It's a race to 40. It's still anybody's game. If you want more Puckle's Poke Quiz, be sure to join us next week. Until then, we're going to kick it on over to the topic. We have another review this week from iTunes from Boy Jeff. Amazing, 5 stars. I just started listening this year, but I've loved it ever since. Well, thank you for that. And if you would like to review us wherever you listen to the podcast, we would really appreciate it. It would help us out. On top of that, you might be able to be right on the show. Well, until then, we're going to kick it on over, guys, to the topic. Welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be rating in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We wanted to just kind of cover everything, mostly because Basket's very excited
Oh yeah, I'm super excited.
after beating the game. We've got some Pokemon that are typically good for it. We've got some tips and tricks, and maybe some do's and don'ts. Like, this is a lot of me complaining. I was just going to start with the idea, right? Because, like, every Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet is terrestrialized. Every raid. Every Pokemon is terrestrialized, and they can have weird raid types. And these, you need to do these anyway to grind out Terra Crystals, by the way. Like, if you want to be able to change your Pokemon's Terra type, it takes 50 of any Terra Crystal to be able to change their Terra type. Also a good way to farm money, good way to do a bunch of different stuff. It's very important to understand how to do these, because it's very frustrating when you get into a raid with me and you don't understand. Because the number one thing that I see happening, at least in my experience when people join raids, when we do them in Scarlet and Violet, is that people don't think about the Pokemon's type before it terrestrializes. They just see the Terra type and they go, so a good example of this is...
But you have to think about what moves it'll have.
Yeah. So this is an example of something that happened to me once. I had a 6-star Sylveon that terra'd into Dark type. Okay. So the Sylveon terra'd into Dark type, And so people brought Iron Hands because Iron Hands is a very popular raid Pokemon that we can talk about in a second.
But it's a Sylveon.
Yes, that was my thought. I was just like, yes, your fighting type Iron Hands is going to be really good at punching the dark type Sylveon.
However,
but the Sylveon is still a Sylveon with Pixelate.
Stab boosted Pixelate. Like, don't do it. Don't do it.
And it's just going to hyper voice you to death. And your Iron Hands isn't going to be able to do Iron Hands things.
Mm-hmm. I think on that note, whenever you're doing a 7-star raid, you have to think about what type it is originally, or like really what moves it is likely to use and what type it turns into.
You need to be defensive to the original Pokemon while being super effective against the Terra type.
Correct. Yeah. So I think, especially for the 7-star raids, you have to put some thought into what you're taking.
Yeah.
I think the first 7-star raid, for instance, was Charizard, right? It was a Dragon Charizard. And I remember everyone talking about, like, the 2 raid Pokemon to take were Azumarill and, what was the Doggy Pokemon called again? The Evolution.
I know exactly what you're talking about. What is Fido's evolution? Fido's just so cute.
Exactly.
I see it because it's a Dachshund, so it's something with a Dachshund.
Dachshund, right?
Dachshund, that's it.
Because they're both immune to fire, or, well, one resists, the other's immune. And then Azumarill is immune to Dragon, while super effective.
Yeah, Dachshund it's got that ability that's exclusive to it.
Yeah, and so it eats fire for breakfast, and then the fairy made it immune to dragon. So it was like, hello.
The well-baked body. It's like stamina, but fire-type moves.
Please tell me that's its ability's name.
No, that's what I said.
That is its ability's name? Oh my god, that is so awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that is the ability's name. It is a well-baked body.
Yeah, it has a fire immunity, which is pretty cool.
I love that so much.
But because of that, a fairy with a fire type immunity or a water fairy, both really strong for that raid because they are resistant / immune and can hit super effective. Right? Like, you want to be able to cover all the bases.
I love raids in Scarlet and Violet because in what situation would you ever be like, yeah, Dachshund's the choice. It's the call here. It's the call. It's the play. I can't think of any time that would be like what I would say. It'd be like, Dachshund's the play here, guys. I think Dachshund's the Pokemon you need.
Dachshund was the Pokemon.
It's like, what are Dachshund's stats? Yeah, it's a big stat total of like 477. It's not like great. It's not great.
Doesn't need to be.
I think the thing I like the most about the Terra raids is that they kind of do the same thing as like going in different tiers in like Smogon does, which is like you get to use a bunch of Pokemon that you would never like otherwise use.
Oh, hard agree. Like, I think that this is, I love it because 1, you get to use a lot of Pokemon. 2, I think it's a really good way, especially the 7-star and 6-star raids, of teaching people how to prepare a Pokemon for competitive play. Which I guess is a segue into like some of the more popular ones. But the idea is that like they have you EV train and you can IV train as well. IV train is a very big misnomer. I really hate calling it IV training, but because honestly,
Hypertrain.
Scarlet and Violet has made it so easy to make Pokemon. It's like grossly easy. All you need is you just need like money. If you have money, your Pokemon are going to be fine. Like, you can just use bottle caps and vitamins in Scarlet and Violet.
Pokemon's just mirroring the real world. It's okay.
I was going to say, yeah, like, that's just...
Pay to play, yeah. No, it really is that easy, though. Because I was just like, oh, well, maybe this topic, we can use it as an excuse to talk about EV and IV training. And so, like, I started looking into it a little bit today. To prep it, and because I was like, oh, where are the best places to EV train? And then like I clicked it and I realized that I was just an idiot and that you should just go buy vitamins. You should just go buy vitamins because you can buy vitamins like right away. You can. It's so bad. Like, I don't know. It's kind of the same idea. I don't know. I really liked Isle of Armor in Sword and Shield. Like, I thought Sword and Shield DLC was very, very good, and you can see a lot of the influence that it had on Scarlet and Violet. And I really like that we can just buy the vitamins and just make the Pokemon.
I was thinking the same thing when I was playing it. Yeah, like when I was playing Gen 9, it's like, oh, Isle of Armor I think is the best overworld in Gen 8.
I think Crown Tundra is good too. I really like Crown Tundra. I think Crown Tundra...
Yeah, but Isle of Armor, I think you could see the difference in like how they are like exploring how to like make a world to explore that has interesting like...
I think Crown Tundra I relate to it more, and maybe that's just because I had less time with it than I did with Isle of Armor, because like once Isle of Armor came out, I played a ton.
Once you know it, you know it. I mean, I caught all the Diglets, so you know I was over that aisle.
In Crown Tundra, one, I really liked how you just like walked into that one little town, which is something that happens now in Scarlet and Violet, right? You just walk into town. I was actually very impressed with the lack of loading screens with the sacrifice of frame rate that you see in Scarlet and Violet. I was very, very impressed with that. So I kind of hope they keep that going. Yeah, I don't know. Like, raids are... I don't know. Like, these raids are so much better than Sword and Shield raids.
So much better. I hated raiding in Gen 8. I hated it.
I think it's just because the shield mechanic was kind of garbage.
Like, you sit around and use a move, like, once every however long, right?
Yeah.
And I love how much more, like, live action, fast-paced they made the raids this time.
It feels like it, right?
Oh yeah, where all the Pokemon attack at the same time.
It's so much faster. It was a really smart decision.
The only issue I have, and I hope this is solved now with the update, because we just got 1.2 or whatever it was, where the issue is like, I don't know, the problem I have is sometimes you go too fast and then you just get caught while the raid Pokemon is doing like 3 moves at once, and like you're just stuck there waiting to be able to do something. I really dislike that. I think that's my one major criticism, and they were kind of bugged anyway with like the HP bars just like randomly going up and down every once in a while. But other than that, I think these are the far superior experience.
Completely agree.
I think they are one of my favorite things in Scarlet and Violet, period. I do also like that they give you the chance to, like, while you're playing the game, to get Pokemon with odd Terra types as well. Because I think, like, halfway through the game, you get Terra Blast. And as soon as you get Terra Blast, it's like, cool, I've just got, like, controllable hidden power. I mean, I think Terra Blast is the most balanced hidden power that you could possibly have, by the way. Like, hidden power, I think, kind of broke Pokemon a little bit, because it created the situation in which Landorus Therian was the best counter to Landorus Therian.
Yeah.
With hidden power ice or something. I think it does create very weird scenarios, but at least here now, you do get like a minor downside with your Terra Blast, right? Because a lot of the good types that you'd want for Terra Blast are things like Ice type or things like Fire or something like that. But at least you have to take on the defensive qualities of that type as well as like a trade-off. And I really enjoy that. So, I mean, we didn't see any ice. There's not a lot of ice Terra types, honestly, which I'm not very surprised at looking back, but I don't know. I think it's a cool mechanic. But we've got we gave a nice review of Pokemon there. So I guess now is a good time to talk about some of like our favorite Pokemon. I know Basket, you just got here, and that's why we're doing this topic, because you were asking about what are some good things.
Yeah. And I did a little bit of research, and I think before we get into the actual Pokemon themselves, like there's some like basic things that people were talking about that like have helped me kind of formulate a plan.
Okay.
One is like 9 times out of 10, unless you're doing a support one, which you would only ever do a support. So the way that we did it is we're going to tell you like the best ones for like overall raid. And then there's some support ones. Support ones, obviously, you only want to do if you've got friends with you. Otherwise, it's just,
Yeah, don't take support if you're by yourself. Like,
yeah,
no.
yeah. Do not support the
NPCs.
the NPCs that are helping you. You are never gonna win. One of the things is when you find a Pokemon that's going to work well for the raid, you typically want to increase its highest defensive stat and its highest attack stat, which is kind of like a no-brainer. But I have not seen anybody talk about speed at all, so I don't think it matters at all.
Because you're attacking so many times, it's not relevant the way it would normally be.
Speed doesn't matter that much.
Bulk and power.
Yeah, Iron Hands is like one of the most popular ones.
Iron Hands is really good.
So what happens is, like, Iron Hands was the first one he came out with. And a good way to make Iron Hands is, like, max attack, max HP, call it a day. He gets Belly Drum, so you slap Belly Drum on him. I think it's actually I think Belly Drum is actually, like, a weird egg move type deal on Iron Hands. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Azumarill.
Yeah, you're thinking of Azumarill, yeah.
Iron Hands just gets it because he's a Paradoxmon. I was like, why am I thinking of an egg move on a Paradox Pokemon?
Well, because Azumarill is also very good for raids.
Yeah, and his typing electric fighting is actually really cool for one. But you can just belly drum with him, and you can give him a citrus berry. You run max attack, max HP. You belly drum, and then you just start clicking Drain Punch. If the Pokemon's weak to fighting, or is neutral to fighting,
Yeah.
or not weak to electric.
I mean, even if without the citrus berry, you have Drain Punch. Period.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Belly drum, stab, Drain Punch, belly drum. Like that's
Yeah, and he gets stab, wild charge / stab, thunder punch, which is also very good. So you can do a lot with that. I mean, just those 3 moves are very good.
Yeah, if you can self-sustain, boost, and heal, you're probably a good pick.
And I saw one setup for Iron Hands that I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know when it would, like in what scenario he was talking about, but he actually had Belly Drum and Swords Dance on him. Because he was talking about how in some situations you don't want to do the Belly Drum because you don't think that you'll be able to survive or whatever.
Yeah.
But in my head I was like, then why are you bringing Iron Hands? But
you're absolutely correct, though, Basket. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that the one that you had was great, but it looks okay. I mean, you want Adamant Nature, and you want to just be able to click Drain Punch. Wild Charge is not a terrible move. I probably wouldn't run Close Combat and Drain Punch. I would probably just run like it gets Ice Punch too, which is actually not too bad. And technically Play Rough. It's got some coverage that I would use instead.
Which is good, because I think Belly Drum plus Drain Punch makes Iron Hands, just in general, one of the best all-rounders.
I mean, unless you're fighting against a Sylveon.
And then if you have a coverage move, unless it's something that's strong against, yeah. I don't think you should ever take something that's weak against the Pokemon.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, and a lot of people don't see it. I mean, these are like the typical ones. The other one that's really typical is the Sumeral, which is doing the exact same thing.
It's got Belly Drum.
yeah,
it just belly drums. You run max attack, max HP, and then you run like Play Rough and Liquidation, and you're done. Like the 4th move doesn't matter. I guess you could run Ice Punch. That's it. Like that's a Sumeral. It's doing a Sumeral thing with huge power and Adamant Nature, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I have noticed that there's kind of a, there's a lot of items that are used, like over and over again.
Like what?
Ability Shield. So that, but I'm confused about that a little bit. Like, is it that common for like the, Terra Pokemon to, what's that move that'll like switch the abilities, or I don't know what that's in reference to.
So let me double check real quick. So Ability Shield, for those of you at home, because it's one of the niche items. It prevents the holder's ability from being changed, or effects that ignore abilities, which is the bigger thing, because they will shut off abilities in the raids. If you remember like the raid bosses in Sword and Shield, they would just like have that moment where they're just like, and the abilities don't matter, and we got rid of all the stat boosts, haha. It's stuff like that.
Like, imagine an Azumarill without huge power.
Yeah, so this makes sense. Some other Pokemon, though, that are fun to look at. I mean, we've had a lot of special ones. Like, the things that are the most challenging are the ones where you have to build for the 7-star raids, typically. Like, the Pikachu one that's out right now, I don't know if they're going to rerun it again in, like, 2 weeks. They might. That's kind of been their MO lately, is they, like, run it every 2 weeks. But with this one's kind of special because it's, like, celebrating Pokemon Day. Though I find it a weird celebration. I would have rather have had something new like they had been doing with Cinderace and Greninja and Charizard. Unfortunately, Charizard. And I'm so upset that in the code it's only Charizard and there's no Blastoise and Venusaur. I really can't comprehend that.
You know, wait till the DLC, because that's exactly what happened at the start of Sword and Shield.
Kind of, except...
That's literally what happened in the Sword and Shield, right? Like...
In Scarlet and Violet, though, they're just not in the code at all. Like, you can't bring them in when home compatibility comes.
Well, that just must be really hard, not getting your favorite starter, huh? That must be really difficult. My heart goes out to anyone that's ever happened to.
Said the Snivy lover.
Well, to be fair, mine hasn't been in, like, an actual game. It was just in BDSP. Okay? Mine was just in BDSP, which is, like a bittersweet moment. All right, but yeah. So like Azumarill and Iron Hands are like the 2 big ones. Golden Go is usually pretty good. You could just run max special attack, max HP again, and it hits hard.
If you can get past the look, yeah.
If you can get past the string cheese,
yeah.
Get past the string cheese. I think it just got leaked that it's essentially coming to Pokemon Go this week as well.
Oh, don't make them collect coins. Oh, they're gonna make that such a pain to get. Yeah.
No, they already did. They already thought about that. Like, because they released Gimme Ghoul for like half a second one day after a community day. Well, they didn't release it, but they had it show up randomly and follow people around and like essentially drop coins.
Oh, the same way they did Meltan. I see.
Yeah, and you could people have already collected a ton of coins from that, so you do have to collect coins. They have like lures and stuff for it.
Of course.
Yep. You got to keep that cash flow going.
That's right.
Golden Go is a good choice. Modest, max special attack, max HP, ability shield, so you don't turn off its good as gold ability.
Definitely ability shield on that. Yeah.
Because good as gold is very, very good, and it prevents
So
you from
good.
taking any statuses, which is so good. Especially in this format where the raid boss is going to try to drop your accuracy, stuff like that. So definitely do that. But I mean, Make It Rain and Shadow Ball are just two very good stabs as well. So definitely consider that. On this list that you have in here, Basket, it has Metal Sound and Thunderwave. I would definitely consider, instead of Thunderwave, maybe putting on like Nasty Plot if you click Make It Rain too many times.
Okay.
Just so that you can recover your special attack drops from Make It Rain.
Yeah, boosting tends to be very strong, I think, in raids.
Yeah, well, I guess you can get around it with cheering, because cheering does give you those boosts as well. So maybe you can get around it that, especially like it's really fun when you can coordinate it with 4 people that you know, because you could be like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and you play different roles, right? Like there's a couple support sets, like Chansey exists, and then also Screamtail, and Grim Snarl. So you can set up screens, which is very helpful. Definitely don't do that if you play by yourself, but you could definitely heal your comrades and hopefully not die.
Yeah. If you have, actually, what I've had a lot of success with has been Ceruledge.
Oh, yes.
Because Bitter Blade, right?
Mhm.
With Swords Dance, you have boosting and self-sustain, and those are the 2 biggest things, especially if you're playing solo.
Yes,
I think,
I agree with you.
for casual raiding.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Also, it has a lot of immunities, which has been good for raids as well. So
Sigma's been really into this lately too, because if you go to our YouTube channel now, he has the first video in how to beat the Pikachu that was on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it did really well
nice.
actually. It was one of our better performing videos. Good for him. Yeah, but he's gotten really, really into it. So we've gotten he came up with a situation in which you can solo the Pikachu with a Gastrodon. I really like it because there's a lot of problem solving involved.
Gastrodon, that's the perfect one.
Yeah.
I was just thinking what would I do for a Pikachu? And I was thinking a dragon because it resists electric and water.
Exactly.
But Gastrodon, that is the correct answer. Go raise a Gastrodon, people.
With Storm Drain.
Yeah, Storm Drain and it's immune to electric and water.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's actually really good. I think it's a really, really good play. So definitely,
checks out.
but those are the most fun, I think, is figuring out the 7-star raids. I think to a smaller extent, you can do it with the 6-star raids as well, because they do take some thought to do the 6-star raids.
A little bit. You can't be thoughtless about raids.
I agree with that.
High star raids, you cannot be thoughtless about it, because they will get you.
5-star and up, you have to think. You really have to think. You can't just go in there with anything. 4-star and below, I think you could just go Iron Hands, Unga Bunga.
You can kind of cheese. Yeah, you can just,
With 5-star and up, you definitely need to think about it. And those are the ones you have to worry about too, because 5-star, I think some 4-star will do it, but 5-star and 6-star are typically the ones that are going to give you Herba Mystica, which is what everybody wants to farm from the raids.
Yes. Also, the higher the raid level, the more crystals you get.
Yes. So you want Terra Crystals and Herba Mystica from all these raids. So those are the big things. But yeah, I didn't think we'd be able to talk this long about raids. I'm going to be honest. So,
something else that was a tip that I had read was try and think about not only just how we were talking about you want to be super effective to their Terra type, but defensive against their regular type.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some instances where you could be able to predict even a third move where for instance, the Tauros raid with the fighting.
Yeah.
He has close combat. So that's something that's that he has that move. They can use that move. So you can think about that. And then that way you don't choose steel.
No, you choose Golden Go.
Well, right.
Take Ceruledge.
Or Ceruledge, yeah.
Yeah, because then it'd just ignore the fire one.
That's the biggest thing. I wouldn't say if I were to say you're trying to get into it right now, my honest answer would be, if you're just getting into it and you just beat the game and you're just trying to do raids, you should just go make an Iron Hands and start, and then you can start getting a lot of resources so you can make another Pokemon. And the next one honestly should just be a Azumarill, and you're just playing with these very offensive Pokemon. Then you can start getting into like Ceruledge and stuff like that.
Bulky offensive Pokemon.
Yeah, bulky offensive Pokemon. Then you can start getting into more specialized stuff.
Even Golden Go's a bulky offensive, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The moral of the story is take something bulky offensive.
Yep, you don't need to worry about speed so much in this. I think these are very good though, because like I really like it from the aspect of you need to still think about IVs and EVs, especially when you're getting up to the 5 and 6 star raids. It really helps to have Pokemon that are optimized for this, and which I think is just the biggest thing. Like, you learn how to optimize Pokemon this way, so after you do this, it's not that far of a stretch to like start doing competitive Pokemon. It's a good entryway into, I figured out how to EV train, let me do it. And you don't have to EV train 6 Pokemon, you only have to EV train 1, which I think is a far easier ask than being like, you need 6 Pokemon that are ready to go.
Here's a question, because I actually don't have the answer to this that might be helpful. What level are raids set to? Is there a set level?
Yes. So each raid has 7 stars are a little weird, but like each raid has a level cap on it, like that the Pokemon is, not what your Pokemon can be. Like your Pokemon should be as high as you can get them, level 100 ideally.
Because like having to get like some random thing to level 100 every time there's a 7-star raid.
Yes.
Is,
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. So 7 stars are typically level 100, but when you catch them, they'll be 75 instead, or something like that. 6-star raids are level 90s, but when you catch them, they're level 75 instead. When you catch 5 stars are level 75, 4 stars are level 45, 3 stars are 35, 2 stars are 20, and 1 stars are 12. Though I think you only get like 3 levels at once, or something like that, as you progress through the game. Because I don't think I've seen a 1 or 2 star raid since I played it at the beginning. So I think I have like 3 and up from here on out. But yeah, you do have to unlock like the 6 and 7 star raids though. So make sure you play the post game basket.
Yes.
You gotta play that post game where you can't get 6 star raids. You gotta go do the job for Jita and go test all the gym leaders.
That is good to know, because I have not done that.
You need to do that to be able to get 6 star raids. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, if you don't do that, you can't unlock 6 star raids. And you only get like 1 6-star raid a day, which is kind of a bummer. But it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, this is it's a fun time. We essentially just made a Gizmodo.com article or something. Where
Number 5 will shock you.
Yeah, exactly. We essentially just did that. I feel like we did like our spin, a Puckle spin on Gizmodo article.
Miss Mojo over here, like,
This is how you raid in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I don't know. I'm very hype about it. And if people have questions, this is how you do it. It's very easy.
This one trick will win all raids.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is a good place to stop. So yeah, we're gonna end it here. Hopefully, Basket can raid now more effectively. He'll get an Iron Hands, and he'll just go to town.
Yep.
We're gonna kick it on over to the Pokemon of the episode. So we'll catch you on the flip flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National X number 992, Iron Hands, the Paradox Pokemon.
It is very similar to a cyborg covered exclusively by a paranormal magazine. The cyborg was said to be the modified form of a certain athlete.
Yeah.
That's not disturbing at all.
I know, it's all disturbing. And apparently also its hands move like independent of its body as well.
Well, so do clay dolls, but no one thinks it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, when it's based on a Hariyama, maybe you would.
Yeah.
Maybe you would. I don't know. Yeah, Iron Hands is, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's a Paradox Pokemon, so base stat total of 570, which is very good.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Definitely.
154 HP, which is pretty big. 140 attack, which is again pretty big. 108 defense, which is pretty big. Nobody cares about the special attack, which is base 50. Special defense of 68 and speed of 50. Hariyama was actually seeing play in the series before this as well. So like this is just better Hariyama, in all honesty. And so it's a good Pokemon. It's the raid Pokemon that we essentially talked about the most during the topic today. So I thought it was fitting. We have a team that has it, and honestly, the team that has it is the team that won the Oceanic International Championship last weekend, which is by Gavin Michaels, and it's great. He did really well. He went 11-3 in Swiss, and he went 14-3 overall.
That's awesome. Good job, man.
Yeah, I think Oceanic Internationals was actually player capped pretty small. So I think it was only like 280, 300 players total for VGC. Same thing happened with TCG, by the way, too. It was only like 500 some players. It was honestly smaller than most regionals in the US.
And honestly, I think I heard his name before. Is he even Australian, or he might have?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's Australian. I can tell you here.
My point is, like, did he go down for the?
Yeah, he went down there for it. I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, congrats, well done. But he's been around in the VGC, I want to say, for several years, because that name sounds very familiar.
Yes, he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yes, congrats to him. But we've got his team. I'm going to preface this by saying a lot of these are definitely VGC spreads that are meant to outrun certain things and take certain hits. Until the team report comes out from Gavin himself, I do not think I will be able to suss all of these things out, so I apologize in advance. Some of these things I can tell you, though, very easily. Not all of them, but some of them. Yeah, it looks like he just really likes to run bulky things and was like, yeah, going fast is for chumps.
You can't have VGC without some speed control.
Yeah, you're absolutely. Well, he's got a little bit of it, but not a lot of it.
He has some. Yeah, because you gotta have some.
He does have some good priority as well. So he does make up for it in that. I honestly like priority better than a lot of speed control, just because Trick Room exists and there's like very good Trick Room Pokemon in this
Trick
format.
Room is part of the speed control scenario.
Yeah, and the best way to get around Trick Room is just priority. In my opinion, like if you can hit hard with priority, you're doing great. And he's got 2 Pokemon that do just that on this team. So I guess we'll just start out with the Iron Hands itself. It's got Quark Drive because that's all it can have. So if your opponent for some reason brings Pincurchin, they've made a mistake. It is holding an Assault Vest. It is Terra-typed Grass, mostly for defensive reasons.
Yeah, because that would make you resistant to earthquakes.
Yes, it's resistant to earthquakes.
When it's an electric type.
Exactly. I don't think it probably happened a lot, but it could make sense to do that. It's got 140 HP to really capitalize on that HP stat in the bulk. 76 attack, which probably hits some number on a KO on something with close combat. It's got 4 defense, 252 special defense, and 36 speed, probably just to start inching out base 60s, which are probably speed creeping a little bit on it. But this is pretty... I mean, these moves are... None of them are surprising to me. Adamant Nature, obviously, so you can hit hard. Fake Out, because it's VGC, and Fake Out is very powerful, just to make sure that your opponent doesn't get a turn to react. Close Combat, because it's gonna hit hard as stab. Wild Charge, because it's gonna hit hard as stab. And Volt Switch, because it actually gives you a nice pivot out of Iron Hands if required.
It's a slow Volt Switch, yeah. A
nice slow switch is really nice. And because this team's all about the bulk and the making sure you don't die, we have a Moongus, a Pokemon. You know, people complain about a lot of Pokemon being like very oppressive. I have never heard anybody complain about a Moongus, and a Moongus has been popular in every single VGC series.
Oh, I've heard people complain about a Moongus way back.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I've heard that plenty of times. That Spore is no joke.
Yeah, I have heard no clamoring to the degree of certain other Pokemon.
Was the Moongus in Sword and Shield?
I think it came in. Let me look. I believe it was eventually in Sword and Shield. I believe. I believe it.
We might have had some years without it.
I do not believe though that it came in until a DLC. I could be wrong though. It does look like it was in Isle of Armor. It came out.
So there was that 1 year without a Moongus. So you didn't have to deal with all the Rage Powder. Yeah, just some of the Rage Powder.
No. Instead, they brought in Incineroar before that. So.
Well, you know, there still had to be an Intimidate Fake Out.
We still had to have one of the most impressive Pokemon of the format. But either way, Moongus, very bulky, holding a citrus berry to make it even bulkier. Regenerator, which is a great ability. One of my favorite things was when Regenerator was first introduced in Gen 5, running in a Moongus Slowbro core, where you just didn't die. It was fantastic. Oh my gosh. And then Terra type of Steel for defensive reasons once again. Honestly, because if you get in that like Shroomish v Shroomish matchup and you just keep sludge bombing each other or something like that, it's great to just be able to Terra into Steel. 244 HP, 108 defense, and 156 special defense. Calm nature. He's got Spore, Rage Powder, Pollen Puff, and Protect. This is Amoongus all the way. I don't know what other moves I would give Amoongus. These are the ones.
Giga Drain, hypothetically.
I don't know. These are like
not that I would here, but no, this is perfect. I love this set. Yeah,
this is like perfect Amoongus.
Agree.
If somebody wants to take the next two, they are more than welcome.
Yeah, I got it. So next up we have Pelipper with Focus Sash, ability Drizzle, of course, and we're going with Terra type Flying, which it doesn't really matter, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, I don't know when you would Terra type Pelipper on this team. You would want to
for the Hurricane, I guess, right? Like,
I think it's just for Stab Hurricane, so you get double Stab Hurricane.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't see it happening often.
But the option is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got the EVs are 4 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed.
Keep it simple. Yep.
Yeah. Got a modest nature, Hurricane, like we talked about before, Hydro Pump, Tailwind, and Protect. We are setting up for the next Pokemon here.
Yes.
Which is Palafin. Mystic Water, ability 0 to Hero, of course, because you want to be a hero and not a 0. Then you got Terra type Water, I'm sure for some extra damage. 252 HP, 252 attack, 4 defense, keeping it simple again, straightforward. Adamant Nature, Jet Punch, Wave Crash, Haze, Protect.
Yep. Haze is there mostly for Dondozo counters. I've seen this a lot on Palafins, where you just go ahead and you just put Haze on it. So, yeah, because Dondozo is going to have a hard time taking out a hero form Palafin. So you can just click Haze, remove all of its boosts, and hopefully you don't have to Jet Punch it, but maybe it Terra typed into Knotgrass. We'll see. We'll see. We'll go back to you, Sublime, though, and you can take us home with the last two.
All right, I'll take us with some big boys to finish it up. We've got a Baxcalibur with a Dragon Fang. Of course, it has Thermal Exchange, and its Terra type is Poison.
I love that for defense. I love that defensively, because it's both fairy and fighting.
Yeah, exactly. So it's flipping the script on its weaknesses. It's got an Adamant Nature and a very well spread out EV spread. It's got 84 into HP, 252 attack, 4 defense, 108 special defense, and 60 speed. And we're running Glaive Rush, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, and Protect. So you've got your priority and your stabs, and of course Protect. In fact, I think everything on this team but the Assault Vest has Protect. Yes.
As it should.
Yeah, I mean, it's VGC. Although I do remember there was one year someone won the American Nationals with no Protect on the entire team.
Really?
They were an icon. Although there was it was Gen 6 and they had a Aegislash which had its own.
Oh, it had the shield.
But that was the only one, and everything else had no Protect, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to finish it off with Shining Arm, that's in the nickname, sorry, Dragonite, the icon. It's back, it's a star, it's got multi-scale with a Lumberry, and Terra-type Flying, Adamant Nature, and we're going to run 252 HP, 204 attack, 20 defense, 4 special defense, and 28 speed. And we've got Extreme Speed, Terra Blast, so you know it's meant to, Terra type.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Spinner, which would get rid of the terrain, I do believe. And Protect.
Awesome.
Yeah. This is a really cool team.
The Dragonite's totally weird, too, because it's usually Terra type normal into Extreme Speed Stab. I do like this, though, so it just gets, super powerful flying type move, and double stab on that as well, because it's already flying. I
feel like it never had the best flying options, right? Yeah, especially physical. What do you get?
That's kind of how they balance flying type for the longest time. is that it doesn't have a lot of good physical options, right? Like, you get Brave Bird.
I mean, you get Brave Bird, but the thing is, Dragonite's not going to get Brave Bird.
Well, yeah, but you think of the Pokemon that give Brave Bird, none of them are just going to be like, have like uber powerful attack stats. Like, the thing that Seth always likes to remind me.
Or they do, but then you take the Reef Coil, right? So
yeah, Seth always likes to remind me that Talonflame has a base 80 attack. So
yeah. Well, back in Gen 6, it didn't matter. You just had a high base power, you'll get through.
Exactly. But yeah, he just always likes to remind me that Talonflame only has base.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Seth Philo hates birds. That's all it is.
You think
Seth
so?
Seth Philo hates birds. Oh no, I know so because I play PTU with him every Wednesday, and he has like a pathological hatred for birds because he accidentally died to one once.
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
That's all it is. It's not that he's like, oh, flying types need to have... No, it's because he hates birds. You know what his least favorite Pokemon was last gen? Hawlucha.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I knew that. He's hated Hawlucha for a while.
He hates birds. He hates birds. That's what it is.
It has nothing to do with the Pokemon.
Shout out to Seth Philo, but he hates birds. Yeah.
He just hates birds.
So he's just anti-flying type. That's all it is.
Yeah. All right, well, this is the team. We're going to put it... I'm looking for the channel right now. I'm going to put it into the Discord. And then, of course, if you're a patron, I am also in the... and I'm actually updating it right now as we speak so that we have all of the new Pokemon up for this month. So we're going to go ahead and kick it on over then to the mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag is the part of the show where we ask you guys a question. Typically, the week before, we asked you what you thought might be announced at Pokemon Day this week. So we're going to make nice bingo cards out of all of it. And we figured we'd hear what you guys got. You send those into puclpodcast at gmail.com, and we're going to choose 3 of them, and we're going to read them here on the show today. But of course, this segment is also brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And as always, we will give the Green Tauros badge to whoever we deem worthy. If you spark discussion or anything of that manner, or we just really like you today, you get it. So without further ado, let's jump into our first email. This week it's going to be from Ben. And Basket's got this one.
What it do, Puckle Crew? Ben here. I have so many predictions for the Pokemon Day announcements, but I guess my most outrageous one would be Gen 2 to 5 starter 7-star Terra raids announced through the summer. If anything, this is just what I want to happen. I would love to fulfill my dream of having an all-reptile team with Feraligatr, Crocodile, and Skeledirge on it. That's awesome. I like that.
I want that too, but it won't happen, and it's going to make me sad.
I'm also predicting that Pokemon Ranger is going to be making a comeback along with Pokemon Conquest. Oh, Ben. Yes, please, Pokemon Conquest. They'll be remastered and ported onto the Switch as a double pack. Although underplayed, I still have my original copy of Ranger, and I had so much fun playing it.
If it's a remaster, I would play Conquest again. I like the concept of Pokemon Conquest, but I went back and replayed it recently, and it is the clunkiest game I've ever played.
Yeah, I love Pokemon Conquest. I know you do too, Sublime, and it's great, but there is some weird parts where like it just feels slow in certain like interactions, and it's like, why is it like this? There's
some like menus you have to go through that you shouldn't have to go through. You know what I mean? Like I play it and I go, this is definitely a first try at something, and then it wasn't successful, so we never got to see like what it could truly be.
But it's a gem. It's a huge gem. And then outside of that, I would love to see more about Pokemon Sleep. What even is it? The potential for we talked about it in our topic, or I mean our news. The potential for Gen 1 to 3 to come out to Nintendo Switch Online with home capabilities, some new Paradox Pokemon, new events for VGC, details on the Scarlet Violet DLC, new 7-star Terra raids, new merchandise, a new spin-off game or reboot like an installment of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and an event release of a region-specific Pokemon. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with most of this.
They should give us something. The first distribution was kind of meh, in my opinion. Granted, they had a fantastic team, but the powers that be could have easily given us their Aqua Breed Tauros or Goldango, a Pokemon that is much harder to obtain in the game. That being said, this Garganacl does have a great set of stats and is really useful. Yeah. And then some of my predictions are pretty outrageous. If any of them happen, I will be shocked and excited. But whatever happens, I know that I am going to be super pumped for the coming year in the world of Pokemon. Go big, Ben B.
All right. Thank you for that, Ben. Our next email is going to come to you from Gigasaurus Games. Hello, Puckle crew. The episode this week had some really interesting ideas about what might be coming up in Pokemon news. Because of this and because joining in on harmless conspiracy theories once in a while is fun, I decided that I would throw my tinfoil hat into the ring this week. That's a really good analogy, though. First of all, I personally feel like it is more likely that the next Pokemon Mystery Dungeon would be Explorers of Time, Darkness, and Sky than a brand new game, just because Nintendo seems to be really interested in porting old games right now, like Mystery Dungeon DX, which, to be clear, is a good thing. That's like based on one data point, though. I would say you need more than one data point to know that they really want to just port Explorers of Sky. I could totally see them reintroducing to us with the remake that they did in 2020, and then we just get, a new game now in 2023. Last time they did that, though, they gave us like a very short turnaround. They're like, hey, BT Dubs, this is coming out in like a month. So I could see Mystery Dungeon coming out in like a month if they announced it. That said, the idea of a gacha Mystery Dungeon called Mystery Dungeon Genshin Pokemon Impact is pretty entertaining. Gacha games in general are a toxic marketing model, and that is only acceptable model that annoys me more than TCGs. But at least the jokes are funny to think about. I would also guess that there will be some sort of news on the virtual consoles on Switch, although whether it be the 3DS virtual consoles coming over, new games on it or on existing ones, or extra home compatibility, I'm unsure of. I do think that there's a pretty good chance that the unrevealed Scarlet Violet patch functionality probably has to do with home compatibility more than with the DLC immediately, so I'm expecting much more outside of an announcement about Pokemon Home, but there could always be more as well. I think actually the more compatibility is going to be the Pokemon Go connection that we have to have for Gimmighoul in Pokemon Go, which is really depressing. So we have that coming. I don't know. Going for us isn't what the right thing. We have that, and it's going to be awkward and gimmicky and probably not worth it. Those are my thoughts about what we will hear about on Pokemon Day. As always, your ideas were very insightful and entertaining, and thank you for all of your wonderful work. Gigasaurus Games. All right. Well, we have one more email, and it's going to be from Dooley, and I believe Sublime's got this one. Sublime? You there, bud? Sublime? No, we can't hear you, Sublime. We can't hear you. That's why we've been ignoring you. I was wondering, I'm like, where's Sublime commenting on Pokemon Conquest?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay, it was my mic. And I didn't want to stop or do anything because I'm recording.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Okay, go ahead and read Dooley's email.
Happily. I'm so sorry, y'all. I've been experiencing technical difficulties. Good morning, Puckle crew. My predictions for Pokemon Day. There's a 90% chance of Pokemon Red and Blue being announced for the Switch GB emulator. I also think that they will announce the next Legend series, maybe Legend Celebi.
Oh, I disagree.
If they announce a date at all, I would love that to happen, but I disagree as well.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. Because they're not going to want to hype up Pokemon Legends right as they're hyping up Pokemon Scarlet Violet DLC. They're not going to want to do that.
That's a good point.
They're not going to want to do that.
Especially because Arceus was kind of like an off-season release into January.
I honestly think that BDSP was probably supposed to come out in 2021, and then Legends Arceus was supposed to come out in 2022. But because of COVID, things got slowed down.
Yeah, things change. It's fine. But they're thinking that if it is Legend Celebi, it won't be until 2024.
I agree.
And of course, they just have to announce the DLC for Scurvy, whatever it might be. I see my 50% prediction for a possibility. Probably a date for Home, too. 95% chance for this one, and then under 50% chance. I've been hearing rumors of a possible sequel to Pokken. Not sure how I feel about it, but perhaps this is something that might happen and might be announced. But I'll call it a coin flip. Kalos DLC for Scurvy? I mean, it's right there, so maybe. Hopefully.
I think that's actually higher than 50%. The Pokemon Go tie-ins for Scarlet and Violet.
I mean, that's basically 100%. It's just a question of, it's an eventuality. Yeah.
Well, it just got leaked through the data mine of the new Pokemon Go update that all of that stuff's in there right before Pokemon Day. So I'm pretty sure it's happening. I'm almost certain it's happening.
And then under his 10% predictions, an update to Pokemon Sleep. But in reality, I think that whole project has already been put to sleep. But there is a slim chance that they might wake it up. Here's another slim chance, but crosses the back of my mind. We've seen in the past of Pokemon games with Legends Arceus, and we've seen both ancient and future Pokemon in Scurvy, depending on the color of choice. Maybe they'll do a Legends type of game that takes place in the future. Sure, it's a crazy thought, but why the heck not? I'd probably put this in the 1% category, but I did want to throw it out there to the universe.
Ooh, I actually have a comment for this one. Only because I see like other people bring that up. Like, what if the next Legends Pokemon game is in the future?
How do you not know Scurvy's not the future already? You know?
Why is it called Pokemon Legends then if it's in the future? The Pokemon Legends is called Pokemon Legends?
That's a very good point. Maybe they could call it Future Legends.
You're revisiting Legends in the Pokemon world, right? Which is why anytime everybody's like, I want a modern Pokemon Legends, I'm just like, but it's called Pokemon Legends. You're like investigating the legends.
Pokemon Legends, the next generation. I love it.
Pokemon Legends is for us to go explore legends that we heard about in the Pokemon universe.
Well, maybe it's still a legend in the future. I don't know. Like, sure.
I think there's a very easy shoe-in for both Unova and Johto.
I'm hoping so, because I need Snivy back in my life. I need Snivy back in my life on my screen.
No, I don't disagree with you.
Not just next to me. Not just next to me while I'm recording.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's very possible to see another Legends game in the future.
Well, I want to see a Wild West Unova, personally.
Oh, dude, that would be sweet. What a good concept. Because we kind of got that with like Pokemon Coliseum, but I would love Wild West Unova. That would be great.
Yeah.
Because the thing with Unova is I feel like it's a very easy shoe-in to be like Pokemon Legends Kyurem or whatever, and we get like Kyurem Origin form or whatever.
That would be cool.
Which is like the original dragon. I think that's a very easy shoe-in. I just don't know how you do it because it's based on like two princes, but it's also going to be Wild West. I want all of these things, by the way. Like, I want all of this to happen in the same game. I just don't know how you make it all happen in the same game.
You know what? Maybe the princes were competing to colonize the land. I'm here for it.
Yeah, we can call them princes, but they're just dressed up as cowboys. I'm here for that as well.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, these are my thoughts and predictions. Your results may vary. See y'all on the proverbial flip-flop. Duly noted.
Yeah. Well, thank you to everybody for that.
Dooley won it for me at the end.
You think so?
He sparked the conversation.
That's true. We can give it to Dooley. That's fine with me. Dooley, you get the green Tauros badge. Enjoy. Your green color on the server.
I would say, honestly, all three of these emails were very good, honestly.
Yes.
I don't disagree.
Absolutely. All right. So with that said, if you want to keep up with us throughout the week, the best way to do it is to come over and hang out with us on Discord at puclpodcast.com. You can, of course, follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Additionally, if you'd like, you can always go over and check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/puclpodcast. I should be streaming this week. I have had so many work trips that have been taking up all of my time, and I want to get back into just hanging out with everybody. I have another work trip, which is also not helping my time management, coming up. So hopefully we can get that all sorted out. And I think the next episode is the last episode I'm on for like a hot second because of work trips. So thankfully people are taking over for me. And then of course we've also got the oh my gosh, what's it called? We've got our Patreon at patreon.com/puclpodcast that you can come and support if you want to help support the show and make it better. We appreciate all those things. And until next time, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I continue to be Sublime.
And I've been Basket.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
Bye-bye.
It's closing time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbye.